This is an apple box reflector oven made from a simple apple box that you would get at the grocery store. It is completely covered with foil inside. Any flammable bit that is exposed will burn, so it's important to cover every single bit of the box inside. Now, apple boxes often come with a hole for the handle, and so what you do is just cut a piece of cardboard to fit in that hole and cover it with tape before you cover the box. We've covered the outside with foil as well for ease of handling. This foil is secured with foil tape that you find at a regular hardware store. This is used to secure heating duct in a home and is more heat resistant. Now, this will lose its stickiness over time, and so after a while you will have to replace it. For that reason, I like to secure the foil with just little curls of this underneath the foil because it's easier to replace after a while. So I'm going to be cooking on a piece of foil on the ground, which will reflect the heat of charcoal up into the oven. Now, this rack is made from a simple cookie cooling rack. It's important to get the one that is not covered with non-stick material, and you can find these at a restaurant supply place. This is held in place in the oven on some empty pop cans that are filled with rocks so that they won't tip over, and you can see on this windy day that's an important thing to help them stay in place. So first of all, I will position the cans and put the rack on. Then I will test the oven first to make sure that it can go over the pop cans, to make sure everything is spaced so it will fit over. I'm going to be heating the charcoal in a chimney charcoal starter, which starts charcoal without the need to store lighter fluid. It's important to look for a starter that has holes going up the side. That draws the air in better so that the charcoal will start more quickly. Now, there's a rack here in this chimney starter that holds the charcoal, which I have pre-counted out. We're cooking these cookies, chocolate chip cookies today, in a 375-degree oven. Charcoal produces 35 degrees of heat. So that works out to be about 11 charcoal. This is a colder day and we're about 5,000 feet in altitude, so I'm going to add an extra 2 charcoal today while I'm cooking. As you can see, this is not anything super specific. It's a general figure to decide how much charcoal to use. I'm starting this starter on some ground foil, which is again heavy-duty foil, and that prevents me from making a permanent black mark on the cement, which I did on my brother's new driveway. So it's important not to forget the ground foil. On this windy day, it is really nice to just fold the foil up around the starter to help the newspaper light. I've stuffed a couple of pieces of newspaper underneath here, and I've made sure that there are some pieces sticking out here that I can light. Oh, and we went out in the wind. Okay, this is going to send a lot of heat up in between the charcoal and get them lit. The charcoal needs to sit in here for about 5 minutes. It's not necessary to wait for the top charcoal to turn all white, because then the lower charcoal will be well spent. We only need the size of a dime to be white on the top charcoal, and then I will pour it out here in the oven. So we'll wait for 5 minutes for the charcoal to heat. It's a colder day today, and I want to get this charcoal going quickly I'm going to add another piece of newspaper as the first two pieces are spent. That makes the flames come up. That's nice. The charcoal will be ready soon. It's important to store a better quality charcoal. We have found that discount brands of charcoal are either very difficult to start or sometimes they'll go out after they're lit. We'll be back in a few minutes now when the charcoal is ready. The charcoal is ready now, so I'm going to spread it out between the pop cans. And I'm going to use some salad tongs. You put one charcoal in between the ends where the cans are close together, and two in between the cans where they're farther apart. And then you spread the rest of the charcoal evenly out in the middle. Now, I like cookies that are crunchy on the outside and soft on the inside, and that requires a preheated oven. So I'm going to put this box over the charcoal and let it preheat. I'm resting the box on an inch-high rock, which is important to allow air inside so the charcoal will stay lit. This apple box oven happens to be a deluxe model because it has an oven window. This is made with a double layer of cooking bag like you use to cook a turkey or a chicken in the oven, and it's secured again with foil tape. I'm going to let this oven stand now for 5 minutes to preheat, and then I'll put the cookies inside. We have tried this cooking method even in freezing weather, and we found that all that is needed is to insulate the top of the box. This is a double layer of wool army blanket that I have serged together, and by putting this blanket on the top, this oven will cook in the exact time as you would cook with your regular oven and with the same results. The oven is preheated now, and it is warm on the outside, but I can still handle it if I move quickly. I'm going to lift it up and keep it facing down so I trap all the hot air inside. I'll put the cookies in on the cookie rack, replace the box, resting it on the rock, and the cookies will be done in about 10 minutes. Now, this is such a fun way to cook even up at a youth camp. We have been able to cook everything we could cook at home in this simple apple box reflector oven up at camp. Baking in this oven takes almost half the charcoal it takes to bake in a Dutch oven. And in a Dutch oven, all foods are round, but cooking with an apple box reflector oven, you can cook muffins and bread that look just like the kind you bake at home. The cookies are done now, so I'll lift the lid off. And there we have chocolate chip cookies. What a fun way to bake in an apple box reflector oven. It's a great idea for an emergency.